that would make a lot more sense for what this map looks like. And I also feel as though, on the flip side of that, they probably want to take jets completely off of this map and actually add them to Eastwood. I think Eastwood, with a larger player space for jets specifically, so that they can go out of bounds a bit more and dip behind some of the hills, would actually be a better jet map than Blackwell Fields, which honestly feels like jets have kind of just been shoved onto it last minute. I think there will be some people who do appreciate the linear chaos of what Blackwell Fields offers, but for me personally, if I'm looking at Battlefield 6 as a product going forward, and I'm looking to Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5, what my advice would be is take whatever Eastwood does in terms of just being a fun sandbox experience, and specifically being an experience itself. Trying to be different, trying to be larger, trying to offer stupid stuff like a golf course and golf carts, and make that kind of the poster of what seasonal content should look like. Whereas Blackwell Fields, I think, is what I would ultimately describe very harshly, I think, as a filler map. Next, let's move on to the weapons, which I think are the second largest proponent and things that I think people are looking forward to the most. And this, I think, is a universal positive across the board. And the reason I say that is that I think all of the weapons just feel fun to use. Now, Battlefield 6 certainly isn't perfect in terms of balancing, but one thing I think nobody can deny is that a lot of the weapons across the entire space feel fun, feel playable, and don't necessarily feel as though you're at a disadvantage. I personally really like it when a game prioritizes weapon diversity and weapons that just feel distinctly quite fun, as opposed to trying to ultra meticulously balance everything, make some guns super boring, and then everything just feels a bit meh. Now, granted, we don't want another situation like the beta where one specific shotgun ends up accounting for like a third of all kills, but when you're adding new content to the game, that content may as well be fun and usable. And all of the weapons, I think, fall into that category. Now, as somebody who is predominantly an engineer, the first thing I got hands-on with is the new carbine, which is the SOR 300. And although this is supposed to be a sort of SCAR-style variation of a carbine, to me, it actually felt like the AK-5C from Battlefield 4. It's just that kind of universal, good across medium ranges, you know, very usable at close ranges as well, carbine experience. That was super, super fun to use. I spec'd this thing out as best as I could with all the attachments, and whilst you will struggle over extreme ranges, which is to be expected with a carbine, or carbine as some of us call it, it is just a fun gun. I felt like it was something I could take into any different kind of engagement, have a good time with, and I think it's definitely my standout weapon that I definitely will be unlocking first. Then you have the Mini Scout Sniper Rifle. The Mini Scout is great. I think this is like the super aggressive but quicker sniper rifle. I don't know the full ins and outs and details in terms of where it lands statistically on the scale of sniper rifles, but it's definitely the fastest and it definitely maintains that level of lethality. This will essentially be the ultra aggressive sniper loadout that people who use them on the front lines of Breakthrough as opposed to the people who sit further back on the map will use. And we've had variations of this in the past where a really aggressive sniper rifle allows some players to play on the front line instead of sitting off in the distance, and that's exactly what this sniper achieves. We then have the two sidearms, which is a Glock and a new type of snub-nosed revolver, and both of these are pretty decent sidearms for you to pick up. I personally try to avoid my sidearms as much as humanly possible, but this definitely adds a bit more variety. And finally, a DG12 shotgun, which is essentially the DG12 from previous Battlefield titles that you'll know and love. Battle pickups are also in the game now, although I actually didn't find any whilst we were during the course of both of the capture events, so somebody definitely did have fun with the battle pickups, but as far as I'm aware, it's essentially a ultra-heavy machine gun, akin to kind of the battle pickups that you saw in Battlefield 1. There's also a new angled grip attachment and a railed cover attachment, which give you slightly more options in terms of speccing your weapon with, of course, that cost system in the game. And then finally, the ice climbing axe is added to the game, which will offer you a winter-themed melee weapon going into Christmas. Next, let's talk about the new modes, and there are two smaller scale modes coming to Battlefield 6 Season 1. One is called Sabotage, which effectively is kind of like a custom version of Demolition, where you're charged with destroying specific assets on specific sectors, and it is a round-based mode as well, but does allow respawning. The other one is Strike Point, which is essentially a search and destroy style mode, which I think will be quite popular, and both of these are coming in Season 1, both on the 28th and on the November 18th drop, respectively. We then have the new vehicles, or, well, vehicle, but also we technically have golf carts now. So there is the Traverser Mark II, which is essentially a heavily armored ATV that can take an absolute beating and features a Top Gun attachment. Now this thing is of course nowhere near as lethal as something like an IFV in terms of splash damage, but having that top gun does make it incredibly effective at clearing out infantry, and also very effective against other vehicles of light variations of armor. Now, this thing can see a good number of infantry on top of it and can take an absolute beating. I think it actually takes 3 rockets, if not possibly 4, in order to get this thing completely destroyed. It will, of course, detonate over mines and be damaged by slams and things like that, but this is very much a deliberate attempt to provide a more armored transport experience that is stopping you from being completely shot out of the vehicle instantly. And then, of course, there is the golf cart, which can fit up to 4 people in it and does feature on the Eastwood map. This is probably my favorite vehicle that they've added to the game, and it's just stupid and it's just fun, and that's what Battlefield should be, in my humble opinion. All in all, I think Season 1 is an okay and solid first outing. I think Eastwood is a very redeeming part of this update that is incredibly good, and I think it's just possibly one of the best Battlefield maps I think I've ever played, and I think it's going to be extremely popular. I also like the fact that they're adding lots of different variations of modes that are going to allow people to try and experience different pacings of things and different varieties of things. For me, I think the new weapons are also a real standout, and all of them were lots of good fun to use. The biggest disappointment factor, I think, of this new update is that Blackwell Fields just wasn't really a map for me. I think some people will enjoy it, but for the most part, I think Blackwell Fields kind of feels like another one of those grindy linear maps that has a very specific time to engagement. And I think, all in all, like, if Eastwood wasn't as phenomenal as it is, I think this update could perhaps have fallen on a little bit more of the tamer side of things. Ultimately, I think there is a really good opportunity here for DICE and generally Battlefield Studios and all of the wider studios who are going to be making content seasonally for Battlefield 6 to learn from this, is that Eastwood is that fun, bigger sandbox environment that is uniquely creating a custom experience that I feel adding those unique flavors of experiences, whether it's Battlefield 3 Aftermath, Battlefield 3 Close Quarters, or Turning Tides from Battlefield 1, or, you know, Naval Strike from Battlefield 4. Those thematic experiences that provide a different flavor of things to an otherwise existing product, in my view, are better than providing something like Blackwell Fields, which, although geographically is in a very different place and is supposed to be a different map, the time to engagement's the same, the grind is the same, the vehicles feeling shoved onto a small environment feels the same, and this map kind of just falls into the backdrop and isn't, in my view, particularly very impressive. But on the flip side of that, it's also worth remembering that this is quite literally the first season of content for this game that is immediately coming out, like just a few weeks after the actual release of this game. So turning around this content that quickly has probably put some constraints on the teams working on it. It's probably been a very difficult task to get this level of content ready, willing, and shipped this quickly, immediately after the launch of the game. And I think that in itself is generally quite impressive. And I think the reason I'm being particularly quite harsh about Blackwell Fields in comparison to Eastwood is that I really want the future of this seasonal content to look more like Eastwood. That sort of thematic Californian resistance. We have a very clear experience and idea in mind that we want to provide our audience. And I think if they can continue to do that in Season 2, 3, 4, and beyond, Battlefield 6 is going to have a phenomenal post-launch, and if Eastwood is even a taste or a teaser of what could be coming for this game in the future, I think we have some very exciting things to look forward to. And of course, all of these assets are going to be available in Battlefield Portal, so if there's something you don't particularly like about Blackwell Fields or don't like about Eastwood, you can probably make your own variant of that pretty soon, which is pretty exciting to see. So folks, that's it for this video. A big shout out to EA and Battlefield Studios for letting me get early access and hands-on. Hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, please subscribe. We're on the road to 200k, and I'll see you again in the next one.
Take what's me. Alright, bye. Dinar. I think my YouTube stream is very delayed. How do I check? Hello, testing. Yeah, it's delayed by like 10 seconds or whatever. Is what it is. Battlefield, main menu, Steam menu, Firestorm, Conquest, main menu, Total Server, Strain, Dashman. I can't join him. Cool. kills for shotguns. Can do. Oh. Maybe not on this map though. Thanks for the 50 tap. Just fucking leave me next time. What gun is that? TR7? SCW. Huh. That's 33 damage. Right, well. They already got it. It's no use fighting here. They're rezzing again. Again with the fucking half res. We only have 1 point. Like, where are we looking? Oh. Yeah. What are you guys doing? I unlocked a new toy. It's very nice. Did you get a new one already? Did you say it was fucking your Aua. On a new one already? Shoo. See, I got my HUD how I want it to be mostly. But basically, when I ADS like this, enemies will still show up. And teammates, if they're close enough, will show up. I still need to fine tune the zones, but way better. Looks like 160p on source. Huh. I added the... Well, I installed the item fucking multi-stream thing. It could be fucking with my quality. Was supposed to be that bad. Let me see if I can change something. That helps. Changes to the HUD, so I can still see my teammates and like friendly icons if my teammates are within like a certain range of me. And then I can fully see enemy, like I can see pings and I can see enemy indicators fully. But everything else gone. My field of view? You mean the field of view for the HUD settings or my field of view? Idiot. $100 padding? What, like to move the stuff in? No. My FOV, I think it's 112. Well, you can do HUD FOV with this thing. Your peripheral zone, the FOV. So stream looking a little bit better now, at least on. I did make changes. If not, I don't know if I can fix it. At least not today. No. Nice. I don't know.
Grab what you can. Let's go.
Yeah, if you barrel stuff, your gun does 33 damage. Other than that, unlucky buddy.
Fuck! Need a medic! Stay with me!
Ogres. Hmm. "75 teammates revived in a match." That might have to be a portal. Let's try the airburst. "14 damage." Alright, missed that. Or sitting in this spawn. We're about. So that does 25 damage and this does 33. Insane damage drop off. What's this guy doing? No.
I need a medic!
I mean, he ran right at me to come and dress. It's Right. E is our spawn. Why are they always on E? Yeah, like if my teammates are like in my peripheral over there, they show up as a teammate, but if they're right in front of me, they show up as nothing. Oh. Okay. Brush is prone on the floor. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We do a speed test to see if my internet might be the issue. It is pushing through 8000 bitrate, so shouldn't. Nah, seems fine. I don't think this game is starting, but we'll do a shotgun. Best viewers, something dot Russia. Nice. King of Steel works. Got kicked already. Nice.